Hello everyone, welcome to the third module of the Come Alive Again course. I'm really excited to welcome you to this third module. In this module, we're going to be talking about healing from apathy. You know, one of the things that I really believe in is the fact that the journey from despondency to misery is way shorter than the journey from despondency to recovery and self-rediscovery. So when you see people who are willing to get into the initial unfamiliarity and uneasiness that can come with moving from despondency to recovery, it's a proof of evolution. It's a sign, it's a marker of resilience. So if you have gone through the first module, gone through the second module, and you are here for the healing from apathy module, I celebrate you. In the previous module, we talked about apathy being experienced when there is a disparity between you and how this can breed other factors like extreme fatigue, lack of motivation, lack of enthusiasm, amongst others. And so in this module, I'm going to be sharing with you how to heal from apathy. These are things that worked for me, and I'm sure that they are going to work for you as well. So you definitely want to pay attention to every single thing that will be said in this particular module. So let's get right into it. Now, the very first thing I would say is the best healing scheme that will work. The best healing scheme that will work is one that emphasizes more on you becoming your real true self than one which centers on treating the various effects of a particular cause. Oftentimes when we go through things and we start to feel a certain kind of way, what we feel are actually effects of a particular cause. If we want to take those feelings away, we should not focus on those feelings. If we want to take those feelings away, then we have to recognize the cause and then treat it from there, knowing fully well that if we can seize the cause, then the effect will be altered. Now, apathy breeds extreme fatigue. Apathy breeds anhedonia. Apathy breeds lack of motivation. But you will not get properly healed if you are interacting with schemes that will help you to get motivated again. You know why? These schemes will make certain demands on your branches without knowing that your root has been misplaced. Take for example, if I mistakenly leave my tap running and I leave the house like that, by the time I get back and the entire house is flooded, the wrong thing for me to do is to start packing the water before turning off the tap. Because if the tap is still running, no matter how much water I pack, there will still be more water to pack. So to recover properly from apathy, you have to focus solely on becoming your true self and not over ruminating on the fruits of the displacement that apathy is. In this module, I'm going to be sharing with you how to get connected to yourself again, which is synonymous to recovering from apathy. The very first point here is that you want to identify with your true identity by beholding who is in you. That is it's mouthful. You want to identify with your identity by beholding who is in you. Now, from personal experience, when it was time to get healing, when it was time to get healed, one thing that I started to do aggressively was that I started to listen a lot to people that were talking about the fatherhood of God. Now, so I've been a Christian almost all my life, but this time around it was needed. I was taking it like medicine. I was taking it like drug. I was listening aggressively to those who were talking about who God is, who God really is, who were talking about the fatherhood of God. Because I have an understanding that if I know who God is, then I would know who I am, because I was created in the image of God. And if there is one thing that this particular point taught me, is that no matter how far I thought I was, or no matter how far you think that you are due to apathy, you are actually not really far from your original location, which is the image of God. So the fact that I even thought of listening to people who talked about the fatherhood of God was a solid proof that I was not that far. I have not seen God physically, but in this kingdom, believing is seeing. So the more I learned, the more I was hearing about who God is, very more intentionally, it started to change something. It didn't happen immediately. In fact, when I started to do this, it was not as if I started to feel bubbled up immediately. But what I did not know, see, we behold to become. As we behold, we become. As we behold, we become. So as I was beholding who is in me, it started to correct a lot of things. I started to experience a proper renewal of my mind. I started to come alive again. And that is where the title of this course came from. Come alive again. I started to come alive again by beholding. Even when I was not feeling any better, I never stopped. I was not even able to stop. That's how I can put it. As I started, I was not able to stop. It was, oh Lord, those were like the pills. Those were like the pills I kept taking in. And the thing about this revelation of God is that you can never get an overdose of it, right? So I kept taking it in. I kept beholding. I kept listening to it. Either I was in the mood or I was not in the mood. I would just keep playing. Let it just be in my atmosphere. I just kept playing it. And after some time, these symptoms, these signs of apathy started to dissolve. I don't know how it happened. It is too divine to be expressed in English language. My mind was getting cleansed. My eyes were getting opened. The fogginess in my brain started to clear off just by beholding. It is divine. And the funny thing was when I just had this desire that we have to get rid of this thing, this apathy I'm experiencing has to be gotten rid of. And when I had that desire, which I'm also sure that God put in me, when I had that desire, I started to stumble on materials. I started to stumble on, videos. T.D. Jakes once said, God is not an author of coincidences. He is the sculptor of divine providence. Everything I needed kept coming after the other. It felt like I was stumbling on them. That's the way that's it. It felt like I was just stumbling. I would just stumble and it will catch my attention, and then I would just stay there and just drown myself in the entire revelation, in the entire message, in the entire series. And after some time, it is divine. So if you are someone you've gone through the first module, the second module, and you're saying, oh, I think this is me that Toby is talking about. I recommend it. It is tested and it is trusted. When you start to behold who is in you, it will automatically activate who you really are. Now, the most beautiful thing about this particular healing scheme is the fact that Apostle Flourish Peters once said, when God restores a man, it does not restore you back to where you were. It restores you to where you ought to be. So for me, not only was I getting healed, I was also starting to get clarity and gain clarity as regards my next assignment. At the same time, I was getting more clarity as regards what God sent me to this world to do. My mind was being renewed. I was experiencing transformation so that it will be easy for the deep things of God to be decoded into my very being. You are experiencing apathy, you've not been able to place your hand on it. I promise you, this particular point, this is like the core of healing from or recovering from apathy. That is the core of it. When you know who God is, you will know who you are. The scales will fall from your eyes. You will see clearly again. Believe me, you would come out on the other side, not just as a survivor, not just as one of those people that recovered from apathy. You would come out on the other side as a brand new, special made. There is a difference between a car that survived an accident. The car came out, it was not a total write-off, or you have to repaint a particular place, you have to fix. No. And there's a difference between that kind of car and a brand new car. That's what I'm talking about. What I mean is, you would not look like what you've been through. Real transformation only happens from inside out. So the way to experience that real transformation is by spending time with He who is in you. Deal? Now, the second point here is you want to allow yourself to be helped. Human beings are God's gift to human beings. We were created from partnership, for partnership. You do not want hypervigilance to get the best of you and disallow you from experiencing the goodness that human beings are. You want to ensure that your circle contains people who truly, truly care about you. People that when they ask you, how are you doing? You'd be able to say, I am not fine. Or I am fine, or I'm getting better, I am better than yesterday, or I'm doing well now, or this happened yesterday, I got triggered yesterday, but now I am fine. People that you can share these things with, you need to allow yourself to be helped. Do not allow hypervigilance to get the best of you. It's very, very important for us to have people in our lives who really sincerely care about us. You want to have mentors and not tormentors. You want to have people who are very secured about your becoming. You want to have people in your life who can foresee the goodness that you are, and they are willing to provide any form of support that they have to provide. You want to have people in your life who will co-join you to choose personal wellness over self-righteousness or self-condemnation. You don't want to have people in your life who will blame you or who will join you in blaming people because of an experience or because of something that you are experiencing. You want to have people who will help you to prioritize your personal wellness through the dark phases of your healing. You want to allow yourself to be helped. You want to have people in your life who understand that vulnerability is not a characteristic of weaklings. You want to have people in your life who understand what it means to be in different seasons and different phases, in life. If there is one thing I am grateful to God for my circle, is the mutual vulnerability that we share. So you want to have, if you don't yet have, pray to God for it. It is very, very important for you to have people in your life, good people. Now, the third apathy recovery pill that I will be prescribing to you is that you want to allow yourself to heal. My God. Truth is, when it comes to recovery, when it comes to healing, there are different phases that can come with it. I feel like the unfamiliar phase is like the most, it's very weird and it can be uncomfortable because it's probably something that you have never experienced before. You want to ensure that you are properly interacting with your different phases of recovery and your different phases of healing, right? One thing I always say is that growth has all it takes to take you from when it seems uncomfortable to when the new is the normal. So even if it seems like things are uncomfortable, please do not snap yourself out of it. Make sure you stay there, maximize every phase, right? Because what you would need for the next stage in your life are embedded in the process of healing. They are embedded in this phase that you presently are in, right? So you want to allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to experience everything, allow yourself enjoy it. Under allowing yourself to heal, you want to ensure that you are very, very mindful. You want to ensure that you are paying attention to the things that are working, the things that, whenever you do this, okay, this is what happens. Oh, these are my teachers. This is the person that every time I listen to this person or these people, they feel like my kin members. They feel like they're my, like the same blood is running here. You want to ensure that you know your teachers. You want to be mindful. You want to pay attention to your strength and your weaknesses. At this point, you want to pay attention to your triggers, right? So that you can be able to build healthy boundaries. Because true healing is not supposed to leave you in the hypervigilance stage. True healing is actually supposed to help you to be able to build and maintain very, very healthy boundaries. Very quickly, I'm going to be sharing with you signs that you are healing. I think that it was very, very important for me to share these signs that you are healing, because I remember experiencing some of these things and I actually started to feel like I started to get worried, like why am I still experiencing these things? And I stumbled I stumbled on another material articles that made me see that they were actually signs that I was healing, and that is why I'm going to be sharing some of them with you. Now, the very first sign that I'm going to be saying is that when you are healing, when you are recovering from apathy, when you are healing from apathy, you might find yourself randomly crying, unplanned. You do not plan. You might find yourself randomly crying. I know it probably sounds weird. Now, there is a difference in this crying that comes with healing, and how you would know the difference is that when you cry, when you cry as a sign of true healing, after crying, you would feel relieved. Instead of being filled with regret, you would actually feel relieved. It will feel like, that way you feel when you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out, through your mouth. That's the way it's going to feel. So when you are, a sign that you are healing is that you might find yourself just crying, and this is because those tears is one of the ways that your physical body is releasing toxins, right? So you might find yourself just allow it. It's still part of you allowing yourself to heal. Allow it. Understand the fact that you're experiencing some form of weaknesses does not make you less of a strong man or a strong woman. Another one I'm going to talk about is the fact that you would still get triggered. The fact that you're healing or the fact that you're already recovering does not mean that you would not still get triggered. Now, the beautiful thing about this particular trigger is the fact that when you get triggered, these triggers will not help you to build walls of defense around yourself. Instead, it will help you to build healthy boundaries. So when you get triggered, you are more clear-minded as regards those triggers and how to build healthy boundaries so that you don't keep getting triggered. So these triggers will not just cause you to be hyper vigilant and extremely rigid. Instead, you would find yourself, being able to calmly create healthy boundaries. You'll be very aware of your triggers. You'll be very aware of the cause of your triggers, and you'll be able to build healthy boundaries. Okay, this is what can come in here, and this should not come in here. You'll gain clarity as regards the kind of boundaries that you should build, and you'll be clear-minded enough, or you'll be getting clear-minded enough as to how to maintain those healthy boundaries. When you get triggered, you'll be able to acknowledge your emotions and give yourself grace. Another physical thing that you could experience as a sign that you're recovering from apathy is that you might find yourself sleeping longer and deeper. Yeah, for some time. Yeah, maybe not throughout, but during that recovery phase, you might find yourself sleeping deeper and sleeping longer. And this is actually because your nervous system has been active. The way you would use your mobile phone, so much so that it starts to get hot. So imagine that your nervous system has been on that edge for a very long time. So now that you're finally recovering and you're dedicated to healing, you might find yourself sleeping because your body is trying to rest from that stress. It is your body's way of releasing stress. It is your body's way of resting. So in case you find yourself doing that, please allow yourself. Another sign that you could experience as a sign of recovery or healing is you would start to prioritize your me time. You start to prioritize your me time. Now, the difference between this me time and loneliness is that this me time comes with a purpose. You're getting to enjoy, experience, and explore this you. Now, a major sign that you are recovering from apathy is you start to gain clarity as regards your purpose, as regards your next assignments in life, as regards what you should be doing at this point in your life. Yeah, that is a major sign. You start to feel yourself again. You start to experience yourself again. You start to feel the fact that you're actually alive again. You are able to feel your emotions. You are able to acknowledge your emotions. You are able to take responsibility. These are signs that you are recovering. These are signs that, yes, you're truly coming alive again. Your health is better for it. Your outlook is better for it. Your relationships are better for it. Everything, starts to get better. You start to feel lively. You start to, I said apathy is like you're not able to, but this time around, a sign that you're healing is that you're able to, feel yourself again. You're really experiencing, you're really living. Now, very quickly, I'm going to be sharing with you on how to help an apathetic person, someone who is going through apathy or someone who is recovering from apathy. The very first thing I would like to say is that you yourself, you must prioritize your personal wellness to avoid secondary trauma. Now, secondary trauma is often experienced when you probably witness trauma or people who are closely connected to a traumatic event or a traumatic occurrence by reason of association or by reason of providing help, right? So people, maybe therapists and other people who are concerned with helping people overcome things like this could experience secondary trauma, because the work requires that you're empathic one way or the other. Now, as one who is empathic myself, one of the things that I have learned, that I'm still learning, is understanding the fact that my empathy is most beautiful. My empathy is most beautiful when it is based on proper self-awareness and clear-headedness. So if you want to really help someone, if you want to help someone who is going through apathy or recovering from apathy, you want to prioritize your personal wellness also. You want to engage in tasks that can help you to decompress and to just let out any form of stress personally. Now, another thing you want to know if you want to offer help, if you want to help someone who is going through apathy or recovering from apathy, is you always want to remember that they're not intentionally apathetic. They're not doing it intentionally. You want to be gracious to them. You want to listen more to them, and while listening, I feel like I'm merging different points together. While listening to them, you want to ensure that you help them to prioritize their personal wellness. You do not want to partner with these people to rehash, or relieve their stress. You don't want to partner with these people to trigger their triggers. Basically, you don't want to minimize their experience. You do not want to minimize that phase in their life. You do not want to minimize that pain or that burden that they already carry. You don't want to minimize it by under talking about it. You don't want to minimize it and say, "Ah, is that what you're not going through?" No, you want to, we experience things differently. You don't want to blame them, neither do you want to blame shift with them. You want to place value on their vulnerability. You want to be a safe space, for them. You want to provide corrections in love, and you want to provide advice without pressure. And with that, we have come to the end of the third module. I'm really hoping that you make use of the points that I have listed in this particular module, and I would see you in the fourth module. Bye for now.